So today I'm going to be continuing with my Hot Toys Justice League figures, and this time it's Ezra Miller as the Flash. So the first time we got to see this costume in a movie was in Batman versus Superman. So here's kind of the picture in this dream sequence that Bruce Wayne went through, and you could see he's got even more kind of armor and stuff, and I think he's got a mustache. And so when I first saw this, I was kind of like, what in the world is that? I mean, it was clear that it was, I guess I knew it was the Flash, but I'd never seen the Flash with all this armor on it. And so then we come to, I don't know if they made a conscious decision to scale it back, or if that's supposed to be a future version. I assume that's supposed to be a future version. But so this costume is obviously a very complicated costume. The Flash character from the comics was a very simple black red costume. This one's got all sorts of armor plating. It's got wires. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. One wonders how a kid would get a hold of something like this, or design something like this, but I guess we're not really supposed to think about it. Um, as to the costume, so this was another one that Hot Toys I waited on quite a bit. They had a release date, and it was, I don't know, half a year or something later, and the costume on here, if you can't tell, none of it is real. The plates, it's all one. I mean, some of the pieces, yeah, they're a separate piece kind of glued on, but it's all rubber. It's mostly one mold. The wires are not real. They're all, um, I guess, I guess they're separate, but they're attached. They're fixed on here, and you can see where the wires don't really necessarily line up. So, for instance, let's see. On the legs, the wires will go someplace, and then they just kind of disappear. They don't really follow through. And so we've got wires here that would technically, I guess, go under the plate, and just a lot going on here. It's a very busy design. So here it is from the movie. And I don't know if the costume, I don't know if those are separate wires in the costume. Whoever designed this really had a field day. They went all out. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. Whether I like it, whether I don't like it. But, these wires are, I assume they're legit. You could see that they continue through here on the shoulder. Not really. And I guess, the truth is, I'm sure that if they tried to actually reproduce the plating, the wires, everything, the cost would be even far higher than what it is. So I guess, the whole point is to make it look nice on the shelf. So here he is from behind. Okay. Now the shoulder pads are held on. I don't know why they even bothered. They're held on by Velcro. Velcro is something I really don't like in these figures. Velcro can wear out over time, so I'm not even going to remove it. Um, so I assume as long as you're never kind of removing it, the Velcro won't lose its attachment, hopefully. But what I do like, as opposed to Velcro, is magnets. And so this is the only figure I have from Hot Toys where the head is attached with a magnet. And it works quite well. It works very well. So I don't know if this I think is the final Hot Toys figure I've gotten. So maybe this was something new for them, or maybe because of the nature of the figure. they were able to use magnets, but I think it's a pretty good likeness. I don't know that it's a perfect likeness of Ezra Miller, but I think it's a pretty good likeness. So overall, I think the figure looks very nice. Again, some of the wires don't really line up, and they are kind of all fake, just to give the impression. Now I'm going to get into some of my opinions on this. So the figure, I think the figure's fine. I hated the Justice League movie, and I was a fan of the Superman movie, um, the Zack Snyder Superman movie, and I thought that the Superman versus Batman was underrated. It had problems, to be sure. I'm not going to disagree, but I think people were a bit too harsh on it. And I'm not going to get into a defense of it or address the criticisms, but the Justice League movie I thought was basically unwatchable. Um, Even though it got at the time better reviews, and I think over time people have reviewers have more come to the conclusion that it really was awful. And like I said, it's to me it's unwatchable. I own it. I've sat down, I get through a couple scenes, and I say no. I don't even. And it's not that there's nothing good about it. Um, I just think overall it's terribly done, and I think I put a lot of blame on Joss Whedon, who I saw the Zack Snyder version, and I thought it was far better. I know people complain about the 4 hour running time. Um, but I think you need to think of it less as a 4 hour movie and more of a short mini series. So you can watch it. You're not sitting there in a theater. You can watch it at your leisure, shut it off, and continue it. I think that it would have actually been better if it were more like 6 hours, because there were parts in it I think that could have been explored more. But what's really obvious in there is that just about everything I hated about the Justice League movie was Joss Whedon, because Zack Snyder removed every Joss Whedon part. And I was like, oh, I hate that. Oh, yeah, okay, but it's not perfect, that's for sure. If the Zack Snyder version were the only version that was out there, I'd probably consider it a okay Justice League movie. But in comparison to the Joss Whedon one, it is far better. Now, as to Ezra Miller, I know he's a polarizing. His acting in the movie was polarizing. I actually liked it. I thought his quirky take was kind of an almost light in this dismal film, but I understand why people would find him irritating, because he is. I don't. He's not really recognizable as Barry Allen, in my opinion. Uh, but I just thought that I liked his performance. I liked his take. I thought he was an interesting character. Now, as to Ezra Miller, the person, uh, I think that he should be removed from any movie ever going forward in history. He is clearly a terrible human being. And people may disagree with me, but if you sit there and research what this guy has done, I kind of think of Robert Downey. And Robert Downey, for younger folks, may not realize that he went through years and years and years of struggle with substance abuse. And now everyone just knows him as Iron Man, and he's a very reliable actor. But that was not the case. But Robert Downey was self-destructive. Ezra Miller is destructive. He is, if a fraction of the things that he's been accused of are true, he is violent, and he's been accused of things even worse than that. But he seems to be a terrible human being, and they're coming out with a Flash movie that he will be starring in. And my understanding is that Warner Brothers, after that, is going to be done with him. But they finished the principal photography, and now they're in post-production, and that's going to take about a year. And so I'm sure Warner Brothers is praying for no more news reports to come out about Ezra Miller. And I'm sure that they're, given the trajectory he's on, I assume we're going to see more stuff. And even the stuff that's just come out about Ezra Miller, would be enough, I think, that you would want to remove this guy. But apparently Warner Brothers, after the Flash movie comes out, is done with Ezra Miller. And I can tell you, I have no interest in seeing the movie, regardless of my feelings towards his performance in Justice League. I have no interest in seeing this guy star in anything. I don't want to see him as an extra in a movie, much less starring in a movie. And it's too bad because I think the guy has talent, but he is off the deep end. So that's probably about as controversial as I want to really get. But I have in total 4 Justice League figures. I'm sorry, 5 Justice League figures, including 2 Batman, the regular Batman in the tactical suit. The one character I didn't get was Cyborg, and the reason is because I cannot stand the design of the character. I thought the acting was very good, and the name of the actor is escaping me, but I think it looks like a pile of junk thrown together. I think that they should have gone with the more simple comic book version of the design, and I think it would have looked a lot better than whatever the heck they were going for here. I kind of accept the Flash, the overly busy, overly complicated Flash costume, but Cyborg, no, it's just too much. It reminds me of the live action Transformer movies where the Transformers look like just a hunk of junk piled upon itself. So anyway, this is the second, and I will later on continue to do. I do like that magnet. I will continue to do my looks at the various Justice League characters. Oh, I'm sorry. The other character I didn't get was Aquaman. I don't like the Aquaman costume either. So I opted out for that one.